Hi guys, today I'm going to be discussing with you the 3 ways to form a contract. I'm California real estate attorney Vrejgar Abedian, and let's get into it. The first way to enter into a contract or to form a contract is verbally or orally agreeing to do something for somebody or agreeing to pay somebody for services that you're going to be receiving from them. The second way is through a written form. A text, an email, a written document, something in writing. The third way is by conduct. So conduct is actually, for example, if someone asks you to mow their lawn for them, and in exchange they'll pay you $100, the contract is not fulfilled if you agree to it, unless you actually do the conduct, which is mowing the lawn. So you can't agree to a contract by conduct until and unless you actually do the conduct that the contract is talking about, actually mowing the lawn. So if someone asks you to mow their lawn and you say, okay, I'll mow it, but you don't end up mowing it, then it's not a contract. The contract by conduct is not formed, and there's no obligation on one side to receive the money, for him to pay you the money, or there's no contract. Everything just falls apart. But if you agree and you actually perform the conduct, if you do the mowing of the lawn, then the contract is technically executed, and you're entitled to the money that he promised you. So that's the third way, is by conduct. And the basic thing that every contract needs is a concept called consideration, which basically just means something of value. So it could be money, it could be time, it could be refraining from doing something, stopping yourself from doing something, or not exercising a right that you have. That could be consideration. So for example, you could agree, if you have a cause of action or a right to sue somebody, by foregoing that right or agreeing not to exercise your right, that's considered consideration also. So, for example, another way you can think of the concept of consideration is, what are you giving up? What are you giving up in exchange for receiving a benefit from the other party? So, is it your time? Is it your services? Is it money? These things are all consideration. So, without consideration, a contract technically cannot be formed, or if it is formed, technically it's considered voidable. It's voidable by the party to be charged, is the legal technical term for it. The party to be charged is the party that is trying to have, is the party that the contract is being enforced against. So the party who is being sued, that person can void that contract if there's no consideration given for that service. For example, if someone asks you to pay them $100 for the privilege of being in their presence, as kind of crazy as it may seem, that is not considered consideration, because there's not really giving up anything of value. The next things that you need to make sure that are in a contract are the parties. Who are the ones making the contract? The next is, what are the terms? So what's the subject matter of the contract, and then what is the payment? What are the terms? How much are you going to get paid? What are the services to be provided? How often is the payment going to come? How is it going to be made? Is it going to be made in currency, in gold, in conduct, in whatever, and services? What are the terms? And then the last thing you want to put is the date. You want to make sure there's a date on the contract, or you know the date. So it's best to have contracts in writing, because that way people are clear of what the contract says and what the terms are. And when people's memory fade or people forget things, it's easy to point to the contract, to the document, and say these are the terms, and that person, both parties sign the contract, make sure that it's put in force, and there's no questions from one side or the other as far as who agreed to do what. So those are the basics of a contract in California. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments section below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.